Welcome back to Sidebar. We are joined now by Mason Emnett, the Senior Vice President of Public Policy at Constellation Energy. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much.
So we're in this moment where a lot of companies are setting goals, right, around decarbonization, among other things. But help us understand from your perspective how we go from goal setting to action.
Sure, this is really important. At the end of the day, the delivery of electricity is about the consumption of electricity. When we turn on the light switch, we want it to work. We want it to be reliable, we want it to be affordable, and increasingly we want it to be clean. And so what we've learned over the past about 10 years or so, as we've been building out renewables and expanding clean energy on the system, is that the way that we have gone about that hasn't necessarily connected the consumption of the electricity to the development of the production of the electricity. So we're spending a lot of time at Constellation trying to connect those two as we look forward to the future. Things like granularity in terms of location and hourly matching to ensure that our customers that are desiring to use clean electricity are actually using clean electricity instead of relying on fossil generation during residual hours.
So when you look at the landscape, particularly in Fortune 500s, I know there's a lot of doubts about whether what we're doing is enough. What are you seeing in terms of whether those goals are actually getting us to where we need to be and how those approaches might need to change?
Sure. So it is really exciting to see the amount of growth we've had in clean energy. So Constellation, we operate a fleet of nuclear plants. So we're the largest producer of carbon-free electricity in the country, produce about 1 out of every 10 megawatts. But we need to do a lot more. So we also own wind, solar, hydro, A to Z. As we look forward into the future, as you say, we need to translate goals into action, into decarbonization, not only for the power sector, but in order to power the activity in other sectors, we're going to increasingly need to remove the carbon out of the power sector to then support decarbonization in other sectors. And so these trends that we see as people look forward in terms of as we approach realizing our goals, realizing that there is this disconnect between what we're trying to achieve and what we're actually achieving, and exposing that for customers. And we have those conversations. Customers do want to adopt additional policies, additional goals, get more granular, understand that every incremental dollar that they're spending is having the actual impact on the system that they want to have, and then stepping back and connecting that into our policies, regulations, market frameworks in order to bring this all together. Because at the end of the day, the power system is an integrated grid. All the customers are connected through the power grid, and so we want to support them in their decarbonization trajectories.
Yeah. Mason, we're at a climate tech event. What technology are you most excited about? What do you see happening in that space?
Sure. We are spending a lot of time on hydrogen right now. As we look forward to decarbonization opportunities in other sectors, again, we'll need to decarbonize the power sector in order to support decarbonization in other sectors as you electrify. And one exciting opportunity is hydrogen. So there's a lot of, right now, federal funding opportunities. We were just awarded our participant in a hydrogen hub award from the Department of Energy. So along with 60 other entities in the Midwest, we will be developing and deploying hydrogen technologies using carbon-free generation to create low emissions hydrogen, which can then go into steel manufacturing, ammonia production, transportation fuels like sustainable aviation fuels, and again, harnessing the power of what we're able to achieve in decarbonizing the power sector to then support decarbonization in other sectors. And that's at the end of the day, whether it's EVs, other types of technology development, most of it is really about harnessing the decarbonization of the power sector, which means we really need to get that power sector decarbonization right.
Definitely. You mentioned some of the federal participation. With our last minute, is the IRA, is the federal environment we have now working? What do we need?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting to see this as a moment in time. The support provided by the IRA is truly transformational. You can see this in terms of renewable development, that they now have stable policy instead of a boom and bust cycle of expiring tax credits that then get renewed. You've got long-term stability. On our side, like I said, we operate a large nuclear fleet. We now, for the first time, have a tax credit providing support to an existing set of resources that will preserve the operation of the nuclear fleet and allow us to move towards relicensing. We operate those plants on 20-year cycles in terms of operating authority. And with the federal support, we have the ability to continue operating that fleet to support decarbonization.
Mason, thank you so much for your work and leadership and joining us here at Sidebar.
Thank you.